Good morning everyone, I am Cheryl and it gives me immense pleasure to lead today's session on topics that are both inspiring and highly relevant to all of us. Lean startup and minimal viable product or business as angel investment or VC funding opportunity for early stage entrepreneurs. To begin the session on a refreshing note, I would now like to invite Dr. Pooja Mohan, Dr. Archana Goyal, Vikram Sir to present a brief welcome to our esteemed guest, Mr. Adhiraj Ahluwalia, as a gesture of respect and a symbol of our shared commitment to sustainability. And Ashutosh Sir.
आशुतोष सर थोड़ा सा आगे जाइए प्रोजेक्टर से इधर आगे इधर हाँ अधिराज जी आप भी आगे मैम थोड़ा सा पास है यस थैंक यू
Thank you so much, sir. Alright guys, how are you doing? All good. So I see some familiar faces today. I think I've met you before. Innovation Mission Punjab होगी right? Or where? I am very well. अब I Punjab आए थे ना? So there was a session over there. किसका session था? आपका ना सोमवीर सर का. So मतलब क्या बात करी थी हमने? Early stage startup idea से right out there. So you're the only familiar face. Was someone else also part of this session?
Some of them have now left.
Your hands.
If anyone else was there, let me know. ठीक है. So we have about 7 people now. ठीक है. Today also we're going to talk about early stage startups, right? How we can build a business model around those startups. How we're going to take our product to the market, be it a software product, be it a tangible consumer B2C product, right, or a service. There is a method to this madness, right? There is a way to structure your startup, there is a way to structure your business. Today we're going to talk about that structure. But to structure things, what is the point of structuring things? You have to execute them. To execute them, you require resources. What are resources? Monetary resources. ऐसा चाहिए ताकि आप कहीं से कुछ प्रोड्यूस कर पाओ, ताकि आप एक सॉफ्टवेयर बनवा पाओ, ताकि आप मेंटेन कर पाओ, राइट? वो पैसा कहाँ से आता है? खुद से तो आता ही है, बूटस्ट्रैप कर सकते हैं अपना स्टार्टअप. But if we can't bootstrap it, what is the other method? What is the other way of doing it?
Investors.
Investors क्यों देंगे आपको पैसा?
Suppose they have pitched my idea and they're interested in that. For exchange for it.
Why are they interested in it?
Because there could be my idea have some innovation which is maybe new.
What does the innovation do for them?
solves the problem.
Why do they want to take your equity?
Because
What is the first fundamental of anything that a human does?
solves the problem.
Sorry? Taking money. They want to know if you can make money for them. There is nothing else. They have the capital, you have the brains, you have the idea, you have the manpower, resources and time to execute an idea, make money and give them returns. If you do not have returns, nobody is going to invest in you. Straightforward. Nobody is going to invest in an idea which अगर कई लोग होते हैं like हाँ जी मैं एक ना चिप हो जा बनाना है, वो जी मैं थोड़ा माइंड पाड़ लेना है. I mean I'm serious. People come and pitch such ideas to us, and investors are like wow, crazy. मतलब you are going to change the world, right? And they're like अच्छा क्या बनाया अभी तक आपने? बस ऐसी पेपर्स पूपर्स काट लेने, रिसर्च चल रहे हैं। अच्छा रिसर्च के बाद आपने कुछ मतलब शुरू करा लैब में यार, ये आइडिया है। अरे भाई, they think they are entitled to getting investment for an idea which is revolutionary, for an idea which is innovative. But why should an investor just give money for an idea? You have to have something more. And इसमें भी ना there is a structure. You can have a great product. There is a startup. I'm not going to name that startup. They work with us. They were a part of our accelerator program. It's a D2C brand. चलो you won't even know who it is. उनका ना healthcare का product है, ठीक है? और they made an organic shampoo, genuinely a great product, shampoo product. तो वो बंदा ना, he's a scientist, great at R&D, great at product development. But he doesn't know how to brand his product. He doesn't know how to sell his product. When he goes to a VC, वो VC उनको 5 चीजें पूछेंगे. He keep on justifying it. But he does not get what the VC wants. Consequentially, he does not raise money. He does not sell. And he remains another startup founder with a great startup, with a great product. It's not a great story. उसके बारे में कहानी नहीं लिखी जाएगी, क्योंकि वो नहीं कर पाया जो इन्वेस्टर्स को चाहिए. तो आज हम ये बात करेंगे कि इन्वेस्टर्स को क्या चाहिए, ए, राइट. बी, हम बात करेंगे कि हम स्टार्टअप को स्ट्रक्चर कैसे करेंगे. एक अर्ली स्टेज स्टार्टअप को हम स्ट्रक्चर कैसे करने वाले हैं. This is something called the lean startup canvas. ठीक है? We are going to follow this today. We are going to fill it up, and I'm also going to talk about the lean startup methodology. So these are two different things. जो आपका MVP वाला है, वो अलग है. ये अलग है. ये एक business model के लिए. ठीक है? But let's start with the first session. Manveer. So he's going to take the first session on the type of funding instruments that are available to you, why an investor invests, and the type of funds that are there in India. Okay? I have one more question. How many of you have a startup? Well, how many of you have an idea? You have one there. Guys, you have to talk to me also, okay? Keep on interacting with me. You have one view. Okay, so most of us have it and most of us don't, right? So, can we do something? There are two ways we can go about this. Either each and every single person comes up with a startup idea, thinks about something right now, and they all fill in their individual lean canvases. Okay? You can make a team of 2 or 3 and fill this up. Or, I give you a startup, okay? And everyone fills up the lean canvas for that startup idea. And we'll ideate together as a group. I think we did this last time also when we were there. We ideated together, but did we fill the canvas of the common startup idea? I think थोड़ा सा वो पहले ideate करा था, but हम आज ideate करेंगे and फिर canvas भरेंगे उस startup idea का. For example, it can be a sports drink, right? How am I going to take the sports drink to the market? We'll put this down in the lean canvas. We'll build a business model. And we'll see how we get funded. Okay? So Manveer, you can take over right now. Perfect. Thank you.
So hi everyone, I'm Manveer. Just to give a bit of context, we do have, I look after our Startup India Seed Fund scheme, and it's been a while. I think there are a lot of applications and they all say ki we want funds, either it's OCP, either it's grant, we need funds. But actually, do you really need funding to start? And I'm not going to answer this. I would like you guys. Do you guys think, do you really need funding to start? You had a startup idea. You also have a startup idea. Do you really think funding is necessary to actually start?
Depends on the startup.
Okay, what's your startup idea?
We are building a medtech product, so we need to access data from bigger institutions, healthcare institutions.
Okay.
and they don't just give it up. So we have to like buy their own licenses.
Yes.
So for that we need capital,
Okay.
and just for the like server infrastructure and cloud computing stuff, we need capital for that. But I think it's not necessary that every startup needs fundraising.
Yes. And do you think that if you don't put in your money but ask an investor to put in money, do you think will he trust you guys if you're not putting your money?
No.
No, right? So roughly there are three paths where you can raise funds from. First is bootstrapping, putting your own money. A lot of great companies have been built. You see example of Flipkart, they put in their money. Both founders put in 4 lakhs each, and then they raised at a strategic point. Next is angels and VCs. And yeah, so angels basically are the guys who trust or back founders, but VCs, they back markets. And we have seen there is a lot of angel investment going on, and someone putting in 10 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees and taking 5% equity, 2% equity. So just to set the context right here, to be an angel investor, you need to have at least a personal wealth of more than 2 crore rupees excluding your house. And then you need to put in at least 25 lakhs of rupees to a particular startup over the next 5 years. That's when you are considered as an angel investor. So everyone thinks that, okay, if I'm getting 10 lakh rupees from this guy, I might give him 5%, 7% equity, but actually that is not legal to SEBI. They don't allow this. You need to go through the process, register as an angel investor, and you need to show all of these documents. And not just money, you need to have a corporate experience of 10 years in similar segment to be a legible angel investor. And next are VCs. They are categorized under AIFs, alternative investment funds. So these funds also do have a minimum corpus commitment of 25 CR. Until unless you don't have 25 CR in your bank account, you cannot start an angel investment fund. And there are two kind of journeys which I was talking about. One is bootstrap beginning and one is massive VC journey. The way I said, Flipkart just started with 4 lakh rupees and then they raised at an inflection point. On the contrary, Byju's raised $5 billion at a valuation of $20 billion. So there are two journeys and it can affect very differently. The way Byju's lost its control. The owner had very less percentage of stake in the company and later he was not, he did not have a greater voice in decision making. And whereas Flipkart, they had their equity in the beginning. So again, I want to open it out to you guys. What would you want to be? Maybe raising $5 billion very early at a $20 billion valuation, or have stake in your company and maybe raise at a strategic point. For some people, it could also be they maybe want to raise. So what is it with you? What would you choose basically?
I would say I would go with the bootstrap because it obviously gives me a flexibility of my decision making since I have more percentage, right? And also bootstrapping at initial stages, I think that's enough to let things go on, and after that, the things.
But then why we all look for funding? I want funding, I want money, I want this.
Usually, it's about when you use a bootstrapping percentage, right? Bootstrap, you're just starting it, and after some time, maybe you want to expand. For expansion, you want some sort of services or any kind of thing, right? For that, we need funding.
Yeah, that is just perfect. You need to have some kind of traction. You need to have some kind of model. If someone comes up to me and say, I have this amazing idea, I will change the world, but where is it? Is it working? If it is not working, then I will not trust. And even if it is working, have you validated market? Do you have that kind of traction? Do you have that kind of sales? Do you have that kind of customers? There are a lot of application-based startups, so they don't generate revenue in very starting. So how do you think? How will that be funded? How will I measure that? I heard Vikram sir said there are a lot of IT startups here. So if anyone has, how do you think? How will I know that I should put money into that startup? Anyone?
Different metrics like lifetime value of customers and how sticky the customers are basically.
Roughly right. I need monthly active users on my platform. If I have, let's say, 2, 3, 10, 15 people using that, I won't trust the guy. No one will trust the guy, no one will give money. And where Adhiraj said in starting that, why would they even give you money? They do not know you. You do not have sales on your P&L. So why would they give money? I'm asking this, why would they money? Even if you do not have sales, you can still raise funds. There's this guy called Mohit Kumar, he raised $25 million. But why would someone give you on ideation stage? It is an open question. You can claim those kind of funds on ideation stage, but why? Okay, so I'll answer this.
No, let them answer.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I think at very initial stages, right? Maybe for a IT company, right? Maybe it's as Naman said, a cloud-based company. For that, you need infrastructure or services. In initial stages, you cannot have that much of funds to initially get those services. For that, if I have at least some sort of testing, I will go with the testing segment first, and if it's possible and have a great result, after that I'll visit the venture capitalists or investors, which will give me the funding based on the response of the test and further verifies that it's okay, that it will work.
But there are n number of people who can do the similar things. Anyways, there are n number of people who can test.
But it depends. Testing can be done by anyone. But the initial stage, I would say personally, testing is just a segment of that. How I do that thing and how it maybe a digital marketing agency, like I have one, how that impacts the users or the business owners. That as I was once a member of that thing, I know more experience in that. I have more experience in that. I would say that is why I would justify that.
First of all, I will like that I will use a mixed combination of bootstrapping and investing. Like I will first have a bootstrap, and then I will create I want to create a content. I am a YouTuber, so that's first of all I will bootstrap, and then will I grow, and then I will go to Shark Tank and says that my business is like working. I am an entrepreneur and content creator, so it is bootstrapping revenue I am earning and my goodwill is, so this will build trust to Shark Tank investors for expansion.
So right now you thought of a very personal journey. You thought that this is going to be your own journey. This is, like, think of it objectively, from a startup perspective. What is Shark Tank basically? Shark Tank is the common phrase now for investor. Essentially you are going to an investor only, right? But he's asking you, you've not made any profits. अभी आपने बेचना शुरू भी नहीं किया. आपके पास एक आइडिया है, राइट? बट तब भी लोग आइडिया में पैसे डालते हैं. क्यों डालते हैं? कैसे डालते हैं? And it happens very regularly, right? For example, like you said, it depends on the nature of the startup, and it's a combination of 2 to 3 things. The first, like you said, is innovation. But what is innovation combined with it? It is the opposite of what I said. Think about it. Give an answer.
Sometimes they took back on the founder's vision. Sometimes they believe that the founder has the energy to revolutionize.
100% you believe in the founders, you believe in what the founders' experience is. That is one massive part of it. That's a very good answer. You do believe in the founders, but what do you believe about the founder? What is it that you believe about the founder? क्या करेगा founder?
Their ability to solve complex problems.
Their ability to, yes, solve, their ability to actually do what they're saying. So they need a proof of concept. If I say that I'm building an innovative business today, right, I need to have some proof of concept for it. For example, okay, ChatGPT. In the beginning, did they raise money? ChatGPT.
Yeah,
They raised money, right? But they took this idea. It was an idea only, and they took the idea with a certain proof of concept also. कि देखो, हम सिर्फ हवा में बातें नहीं कर रहे, हम कर सकते हैं. You build a minimum viable product. You build a proof of concept. Don't go to the market. Don't start selling. But कुछ बनाओ. ठीक है? फिर पैसे आपको मिलेंगे. अगर innovative है. अगर ऐसी चीजें जैसे अगर मैं सिर्फ एक टी-शर्ट बना रहा हूँ, right? टी-शर्ट के proof of concept के लिए कोई पैसे नहीं देने वाला unless it's a revolutionary or innovative product. Because that is a D2C product. Depends on how it's going to perform in the market. That's a performance-based thing. This is a revolutionary, innovative thing on the other side. So एक हो गया मार्केट में कैसे परफॉर्म करेगा, एक हो गया इनोवेट करना ही करना है, धमाका मचाना है, डिसरप्ट करना ही करना है। डिसरप्शन के लिए तो आपको 100% मिलेगा।
Okay, so I then rightly said, you said it very rightly, goodwill. You said ability to solve complex problems. But how would they judge that you have the ability if you have nothing on paper? Okay, so Elon put in money in OpenAI first. He was the first founder. He did put in money, and now Sam Altman was founder of Stripe. He made softwares when he was just 8 years old. So he had that kind of traction to himself that okay, I did build a software called Stripe. I made millions of dollars, so people can trust me. Mohit Kumar, he was co-founder of Runner, the hyper logistics part of Zomato. Later it was acquired by Zomato. So when Mohit Kumar goes to a Bloom, goes to a Fireside, goes to any VC fund, they know he built a startup, sold it for $43 million, got acquired by Zomato. So I will put in my money that day only. And people like Mohit Kumar, people like Sam Altman, or there are a lot of people who have built things or worked in great companies. Why do you think people with tag of IIM Ahmedabad do get funds easily, but whereas someone from a tier 3 college will, it will be difficult for him to raise funds? Because he has shown traction in his life. If you have nothing on paper, you have just an idea, but traction in your own life, maybe making something really great gives you an edge. So that's why people like these get funded. And to be very honest, you go to these websites, read their thesis, they will clearly say, if you have a reference, you have more chance of getting funded. Because they receive maybe 10,000 applications. I have received, I think, almost 3,000 applications in our fund. But I don't have time to look at all. People who email me, they find somewhere my number and then they text me, then I give special attention. Maybe someone calls me and refers me, then I will probably look into it. Okay, so people work on references. Someone is putting 12 crores to your business, they need to see some kind of tractions. And VCs majorly are structured, I don't know, it's not visible. They see scalable returns and portfolio approach. They also need to look at if, for example, if any one of you is running a logistical business and they have already invested in 2 companies, they will ask you everything. Where are you sourcing? How are you doing everything? Later on, they will put money in their own guys. But whereas angels, they give back, they have their belief and they look for thrill. Angels back founders. Maybe if you are not from a tier 1 college, maybe you are, if you haven't worked in Amazon, if you have just worked in any tier 3 company, but they will back you. But again, founders are being backed. A lot of time you have seen sharks saying, I like the founder. Because as a person, you need to have the ability to solve those complex problems, and at the end of the day, it's just execution. If we all think for 2 minutes, we all will have 2 ideas each. We have more than 100 crores people here. So they do see traction. All these people get funded because they have done something. But there are a lot of funding stages, and here we'll cover how we can claim funds if we do not have access to that kind of network. This is pre-seed, where you get money basically on idea. You get small chunks of amount, but you do get money to prove something. So how you can get this is you go to grants. There is Startup India Seed Fund Scheme grant. So there is grant up to 20 lakh rupees. So you get grant for product development if you have done something. So a lot of incubators have these funds. We do have Startup India Seed Fund Schemes funds. So we give grants based on prototype, based on idea, based on some kind of traction, and you'll be given, let's say, 10 lakhs, 5 lakhs in tranches of 3 lakhs each. But you'll be given money to actually scale that thing and when you have made a prototype out of it, then you can get 50 lakhs of OCD, which is just based on repo rate. Repo rate currently I think it's 5 or 5.5, I haven't checked the latest one. But at 5% of interest you are getting 50 lakh rupees. And you can also convert it into equity. Incubators don't charge more than 2 to 3%. So for people who do not have access to that kind of network, they do not have their own personal traction, maybe numbers are not that good, we can get these funds. But these are pre-seed and seed. Once you have made your product, once you have built it, once you have tested it, you need to go for Series A. And then founders look for, or funds look for. So this is Bloom Ventures thesis.
I just want to come in.
Yeah, sure.
But it's like,
Yeah.
so your pre-seed also, for example, he spoke about incubators. Now we have a list of incubators here in Punjab also. Do we have this covered later?
Yes, I have listed right.
So we have a list of incubators here in Punjab also, right? Now as startups, as early stage startups, you perhaps would be better off if you're looking for funding, right? You would be better off going to an incubator, reaching out to angel investors for funding, right? Angel investors में ये issue है, trust issue. Not that the angel investor can't trust you, but there are people you can't trust also in the market, you know. For example, dilution is a massive problem. I know a startup who got money. They had a great product, great entrepreneur, everything. She got what, like 5 lakhs for 30%, yeah. So that is, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. So that's heartbreaking for the startup. Now she's filing a case against the entrepreneur. Sorry, against the investors, right? So you have to be careful of who you're picking up money from. Now incubators, they are institutions. They are not going to cheat you. They are non-profit organizations and they receive money from the government also to put in, right? So there is a list of incubators here in Punjab that Innovation Mission Punjab is connected to. You have a great idea. Let's say you have something innovative, you have a proof of concept, you know you can do it, you built a minimum viable product, now reach out to us, we'll connect you to an incubator. You're building something like a sports drink or a t-shirt or any other D2C product, I don't know, name any ad. Reach out to us, show us your revenue, show us that you've done some work in the market, show us how you perform in the market, and we'll connect you to the right incubator also. Now these incubators also have their sectors, right? For example, Thapar University, they only invest in tech-based startups. All their grants are tech-based, right? You have a software company, you are working in any other type of tech, go reach out to them. You have a D2C product, reach out to ISB. You have biotechnology startup, reach out to ICER. You're building a skincare brand, reach out to ICER, they'll help you. Reach out to PBDI, right? They'll help you. There is a fund called BioNest over here for biotechnology. वो Punjab University में भी है. अब there's this place called NABI, वहाँ पे भी है. ठीक है? So there are multiple funds. The money is out there. The money is there. Even in Punjab, it is there. In our ecosystem, it exists. And like when we said, it connects के basis पे होता है. You have a good, if you have a good product, we'll connect you to the incubators there, right? But you need to have a great product. You need to have a great idea. You need to do work first. So he will later explain why you don't go chasing funds, but you work first, right? And he'll also talk about different investment thesis. But I'm just letting you all know, Punjab में, हमारे यहाँ चंडीगढ़ में, अगर आपको पैसे उठाने हैं अर्ली स्टेज पे आप उठा सकते हो, बट आइडिया पे काम करो. पहले आइडिया, फिर पैसा. आइडिया, रेवेन्यू. कितने पैसे बना सकते हैं? Nobody is going to put in money अगर वो पैसे नहीं बना रहे. You have a content page. How much money can you make an investor? That is the question. If you want to get invested, if you cannot make money as a content creator, I'm sorry to break your heart over here, but your content page must be great. Probably the best content you must be making, right? But unless you're turning it into a revenue source, like okay, let's look at Mr. Beast here. The man's got his own product. He does his own games, etc. कुछ बना रहे उसका, तो वो भी देखो.
Just adding on to that, I saw somewhere that a content creator got I think $5 to $6 million, and contract was the investors will get 10% of the brand each he does. So they back the content creators. They know कि she'll make them a lot of money. So a lot of content creators do make done. Adding on to that, the way Adhiraj said that we do have funds in Punjab and Chandigarh. There's this grant called Startup Punjab grant. You just need to have an idea. You just go to their website, get your GST registered, upload your PPT, submit your idea, and you will get 3 lakhs. Of course, they will do a meeting. They'll forward your application to an incubator. But it is the most easiest grant. 3 lakhs you have in hand and you build a prototype. Then you come to us for Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. We'll give you 10 lakh rupees. Okay, you have this traction done. We give you 10 lakh rupees to make it a better working prototype. And then you go on taking OCD, where you might later convert it into equity or keep it as debt, how you want it to be. But you can easily raise up to 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs just for grants. I have this list. I think this was, wait out. We have 70 almost, more than 70 grants and schemes available on just one click. So money is available. You can raise 1 crore, 2 crore just based on grants. A lot of incubators do run competitions and they give money. They run pitching competitions, they give 1 lakh. There are a lot of competitions where you can get money from and build a product out of it. And at the end of the day, an investor wants money. The way I was showing you the Bloom thesis, if you think, okay, I'll submit my application on Bloom, I'll do my PPT, but they say if you do not have 3 crores of ARR, don't come to us. They won't entertain you guys. If you are building a marketplace, they need 50 lakhs of monthly GMV. And if you are on idea stage, second time founders, great team, big market. We think that we'll go very niche, very micro, we'll just build something around manufacturing of this bottle. I don't know anything. If we think that we do niche and then scale it, they clearly say on their website that don't come to us if you're not targeting big markets. They say great founders think that they can build something out of small markets, but they don't back those founders because they want returns. If they put in 12 crores, they'll call you weekly. We invested in a startup, I cannot name them, they were doing 3 crores quarterly. They did last quarter 18 lakhs. So they came to our office, they had to give explanations why it was 18 lakhs. It was a fund given through an incubator, we are like, but for example, an investor has put in that kind of money and next quarter they are doing 18 lakhs. Money is gone. We, first of all, I don't know if you know accounting, first of all external debt is paid, not the owners. So the guy who's put in money, it's zero. So I will think 100 times before putting in money. For example, they are doing 3 crores from, let's say 3-4 quarters they are doing, and then suddenly 18 lakhs. And example, I have put in that money. I think I will have heart attacks. By very zero, almost zero, going down to zero. So they need this kind of traction. And it's not just that you have 3 crores of ARR and they're going to give you money. They look for your team. They look for how big your market is. How can you scale it to global companies? How can you partner with global companies? How can you sell in other countries? It's not just that we have achieved 25k daily active users, but it's also how unbeatable you are. Let's say I'm making a software company, but a guy makes an AI out of it, so my software company is useless. If AI is able to do that in seconds, I made this presentation in 5 minutes. This is on Claude. That's why I can't download it, but I made this in 5 seconds. I just had to put in the content and this is what I wanted and this is what I got. I could have made it better based on my prompts, but if some AI can do it really early, really fast, if you can be beaten, they won't put in money. And if they have already funded a startup like you, they won't put in money. So we need to be very careful whom we ask. We need to be very careful what kind of startups they are putting money into. You go on their website, you see their portfolio, you see their portfolio companies, they put in their thesis also. So we need to understand the psychology of a venture capitalist also to get money. And yes, this is the thing which I was waiting for. Debt is cheaper than equity. I personally feel the last thing, if you think about while running in startup to get funded, or to take equity, because you will have pressure, you will have weekly calls, you will have monthly calls, you will have quarterly calls. What kind of revenue you are doing? Because they look for crazy returns. If they are putting 12 crores, it's not theirs also. There are bosses sitting above on them. They are asking what is my money. They put in 20 crores. अब वो 20 करोड़ को अलग अलग जगह पर लगा रहे हैं, but they want returns. When we invest, we feel like we need returns. But अगर यही हमारा पैसा होगा तो हमें किसी और को जवाब नहीं देना है. Of course, we should be doing it fast, but it's in our control. Snapdeal diluted very early. Later, board of investors said that we want to merge it with Flipkart, but they didn't want it. But they had very less percentage of equity in that kind of company. Mark Zuckerberg changed the entire cap table, changed the entire laws of his own company, just because उसको डर था कि यार मेरे को ही मेरी कंपनी से ना निकाले. You need to have equity, you need to have stake. And reason debt is cheaper also is and equity is more expensive. What if you are successful? You are paying 12 to 18% of interest here, but for example 10% of your company becomes 100 crore. And when you want to buy it back, you will not get it for just 100 crores. They'll ask you more. Recently Piyush Bansal bought, I think, thousands of crores share back in his company. He's getting an IPO, will make crazy returns. So it is not just terms from you are getting unsuccessful, but also if you make it, then also the cost of equity does play a role. Debt is comparatively very cheaper. If you are even paying 15% of interest, that's worth it because you have control. And you always need not take debt from banks. You can take RFPCs. You just pay 2% of your revenue every month. Revenue-based financing. There are a lot of sources where you can get funds from. But again, the thing which I am stressing on most is whom you ask for it. I am stressing more on how you guys can get funds is go for Startup Punjab grant, take 3 lakh rupees, make something. Then come to us, to any incubator who has Startup India Seed Fund scheme, take 5 lakh, 10 lakh rupees. Then take their debt for 5.5% of interest rate and convert it into an equity. Give 2% of your company. Then you will get a lot of excess. Then founders will also, VC will also back you. They have raised 70 lakhs of money, they are doing this kind of thing, so they will know that you do have some kind of traction. And these are some common pitfalls which again I have talked here and there about raising too early, over dilution, over valuation. For example, if I think I will raise $1 million on 15-20%, I will have no control in saying someone says I have put in my $1 million, why are you deciding it for me? You just do what I do. So you never know, you'll become an employee in your own company. Then over dilution again, you don't have control. When you get public, of course you cannot have major stake in companies. Deepinder Goyal has I think 3.25% stake in his own company. But that's public. Public companies maybe you can have majority stake, but that's very rare to see in India. Then again overvaluation. If you feel that today you are getting a very good valuation, which is right for you, feel okay, my company is valued at 10 crores. For example, you start feeling, like I said, those guys were doing 3 crores a quarter, then they did 18 lakhs. So now when they go and ask for money, they will get it at a lower valuation. That is just on papers. But your previous investors, they will also start calling you more, they will also start troubling you more. Reason being, you are losing their money. So I am not saying that fundraising should not be done, but it should be done very strategically.
So can we also look at some scenarios, some different scenarios of when it should be done strategically in sector also?
Okay, so
Let's just have a discussion. Let's say that I have a startup.
Perfect.
Okay, like guys, let's think of one startup.
Okay.
You know? We link it to the next session also then.
Done.
Come on. Any
Let's
startup
say-
ideas? अपने startup idea मत दो. तो ये random startup idea दे दो. Let's think about it. Let's pick an industry or maybe a model. We can do a B2B model. We can do a service-based startup. We can do a D2C. We can do it something in the
Let's say the healthcare sector.
healthcare. Lovely. ठीक है. Healthcare में क्या करेंगे हम? क्या कर रहे हैं healthcare में? किसको service कर रहे हैं हम? कस्टमर आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं क्या में बहुत टाइप ऑफ कस्टमर्स हैं. चलो एज देख लेते हैं. Are we doing youngsters? Are we doing old people? Are we doing middle-aged people?
Middle-aged to old.
Middle-aged. What are the problems with middle-aged people? The first is fitness. Fitness, right? You are body aches is one massive thing. Recovery is one massive thing for middle-aged people. Diet is a massive issue. आपका cholesterol इस age में rise होना शुरू हो जाता है. आपको treat करना, not just treat, आपको prevention is a massive thing in this age. Treatment comes after that. So prevention at this age is massive. And the other thing is
Maybe balance.
identification. So what were you saying?
Balance in things.
Balance the
Balancing things like he might have cholesterol, right? And he's eating more and more food. Maybe a product's there which tells him maybe on the weekly basis that this is going on in the body. So for that, to balance out, maybe try this and this.
So for that you mean you want to build a hardware which tracks something, so that you have your fitness bands for that, right? You have your Fitbits, you have your Garmin's, Apple Watches, Whoops, through which you can track what a person is doing, what a person is not doing. कि अच्छा वो मेरे को बता देगा इतना strain हो गया भाई तू सो जा 10 मिनट सो जा. ऐसा कुछ कह रहे हो?
Not exactly, because these Apple Watch and these smart bands actually just tell you sort of things like SpO2, maybe will do BPM calibration or tell you about that. I'm saying like maybe some device which like a ring which already exists, right? Maybe some sort of that thing जो थोड़ा बता दे, kind of that.
इसने डाला हुआ है.
डालो.
Mohit Kumar, he got funds $25 million from you.
Capit?
No. Mohit Kumar is Ultra Human's founder.
Ultra Human is Indian.
Yeah, the guy is Indian, but company is not registered. He sold his company to, acquired by Zomato. He was founder of Raya.
Capit is also a good product. Capit is also good. मतलब it's similar, but Ultra Human is a far superior product than Capit.
What's the Whoop?
Whoop is good. Great.
How much do they charge?
Sorry?
How much do they charge per month?
Per month का नहीं है था. Yearly तो होता है. और मतलब but so that's a separate thing. I do it because I play a lot of sports. And I'm into fitness in general. So I know my recovery. I know each and everything. So you can have a product like that also. But if you're thinking more diet oriented, वो तो फिर manual intervention नहीं होता है. मतलब I don't know a non-invasive about a non-invasive device that can actually track what you're eating. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be non-invasive in nature. This is non-invasive, right? And a product which needs to be used every single day has to be comfortable also. So what are we looking at? Are we looking at just suggestions? कि आपको ये होने वाला है, आपको data analytics कर सकते हैं, or we can look at some other thing also. I think this body ache, recovery, etc. That's a massive issue.
Iron and calcium deficiency.
So we get into the nutraceutical industry then, right? You have some great startups in the nutraceutical industry. You have well-being coming out. What other startups are there in nutraceutical? Wellness coach is also part of it. Great. You have some great startups on this wellness coach. Yeah. There are some American startups, Mind Valley, etc. What are the wellness coaches? Massive valuation is also bringing in. Which one? The guy will be wellness. He is building a SaaS platform for coaches. Kind of that's what primarily from what I understood he's doing. Yeah.
Sir, आपने कुछ नहीं मुझे ऐसा हेल्प किया था. तो मेन प्रॉब्लम की मिडिल एज लोगों को जल्दी प्रोन हो जाते हैं, जैसे डायबिटीज, सेकंड और प्लस से कैंसर.
Cholesterol, diabetes. See, there is no main problem. It's one of the problems. What is the main problem? हर problem का एक core problem होता है. But you can't say कि दुनिया में यही problem है सबको. है ना? It's only a group of people who face this problem. So you have to identify the group of people. And you can't say that the problem I think is the main problem is applicable to everyone, because that would be short-sighted. Yes, that problem exists, but only for a certain set of people. So cholesterol, diabetes, who does it exist in? Are there blood reports that we can see? We can see that 5 साल पहले ही हम आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं कि यार ये बंदा डायबिटीज की तरफ अभी जा रहा है, कोलेस्ट्रॉल की तरफ अभी जा रहा है, उसके लिए डॉक्टर्स हैं, है ना? एंड वो इन्वेसिव मेथड से होता है, ब्लड टेस्ट से होता है। और कौन से तरीके हैं जो आप कह रहे हो, ऑक्सीजन, हार्ट रेट वेरिएबिलिटी, I know my heart rate variability through this, and I know मेरे को बुखार चढ़ रहा था, मेरे को एक दिन पहले पता लग गया था कि मेरे को बुखार चढ़ने वाला है, क्योंकि मेरा बेसलाइन टेम्परेचर जो है स्किन का वो इसके थ्रू आ गया था कि हाई है, एंड द नेक्स्ट डे I got a virus, मेरा गला होना स्टार्ट हुआ, मेरे को अलर्ट आ गया कि your baseline temperature is high, this may be because of illness or lack of rest, but it was accurate, right? So what are we using? What are we doing? What can be tracked? I think nutraceutical is great, because see, the more we complicate it, the harder it is to do it right now. We need some degree of expertise also in it. In a Whoop band or a Garmin, I'm not just paying for the hardware, I'm paying for the software. Hardware तो यार तुम चाइना से भी सोर्स कर सकते हो, क्या है मतलब हार्ट रेट रीड करना है उसका, वो जो इसकी टेक्नोलॉजी लाइट सेंसर्स, हाँ,
The way light reacts to our blood, so that's how it is.
and this can be ये आपको मिल जाएगा चाइना से,
You can get this, but the kind of analytics it does for you.
बिल्कुल,
The app is the
the product.
that's
I have a
amazing.
Can we build such a software?
I get to them. एक क्वेश्चन था, जैसे उन्होंने बोला कि जो सेंसर होता है, राइट, they work basically, they see how blood reacts to the light, है ना? अब basically you saying the accuracy of it depends basically on how the software is doing the calculations or analyzes the data actually from the sensors.
Yes.
So software is what that actually matters the most in the hardware category rather than software. Sorry,
I think hardware तो data उसने उठाना ही है.
हाँ.
For example, अब मैं blood test देख रहा हूँ, blood test 5 doctors को दे दिया. It depends on whoever is the best doctor will be able to diagnose it the best way यार. ये भी मतलब who is the best, who has the best software to be able to calibrate everything.
So also
it does work.
specifically talking about this, it also in these bands or these trackers, it matters. It's on wrist or on fingers. So
ये कह रहा है मेरा better है.
so actually fingers पे it's better because it's closer to nerves. It has less movement compared to a wrist.
Stability.
It has more stability. So that's one thing. Okay, so what are we building actually?
Let's go further with it. Now nutraceutical is a good market, but this comes into the D2C space now, right? What type of vitamins, minerals, etc. you order to something like this? ये बहुत competition है market में, है ना? But competition क्यों है market में?
Obviously demands there.
Not just that, demand तो दूसरी चीजों का भी है. सबसे easy ये बनाना है. अब एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर मेरे को तो सबसे इजी ये लगता है बनाना. मेरे को तो एक थर्ड पार्टी मैन्युफैक्चरर के पास जाना है, ढूंढना है जिसके पास लाइसेंसिंग है, उसको अपना वो देना है, जो भी मेरा रिसर्च करा है जिस पे मैंने, वो मेरे को बना के दे देगा. कपड़े क्यों बनाते हैं सारे? It's the easiest. कपड़े is the easiest thing to do. अरे मैं भी कुछ कपड़ों का करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. क्यों कर रहा हूँ मैं? As a first time founder, मैंने गैप देखी किसी चीज में, तो मेरे को कपड़े मेरे को पैशन है उस चीज में 100%. बट दूसरी चीज क्या है? एज अ फर्स्ट टाइम फाउंडर इजी है यार. एज अ यंगस्टर आई कैन टेक दैट रिस्क, एंड देयर इज अ डिमांड फॉर इट. इट्स अ नेवर एंडिंग डिमांड, बट देयर इज नथिंग मोर competitive in any market than fashion and clothes. Nothing more competitive. Nutraceutical, the reason it is so competitive is because the market is small. So it's not as large as fashion, right? It's a specific market, और उसी market में आपकी इतनी ज़्यादा competition है. So it's a red ocean.
It's also the most basic and common problem.
It is a very basic common, but it is also not the most. Not everyone takes treatment for it. Also, there are so many different ways to solve it. कोई कहता है
Naturally.
हल्दी खाओ अपने खाने, कोई कहता है हल्दी दूध पियो, कोई कहता है गोली खाओ. कोई कहता है कि आप धूप के सामने खड़ो, कोई कहता है कि ज्यादा खेलो, कोई कहता है कि न्यूरोबायोन के टीके लगवाओ, खत्म ही नहीं होते, है ना? न्यूरोबायोन, होम्योपैथिक, exactly ma'am, exactly. Homeopathic is another way to solve this, right? There are so many solutions. So it's about preference also. What kind of a preference are you choosing? So for example, homeopathic, different market. Neurobiome, different market, because that is medical grade nutraceutical product, right? Well-being, different product. That's a more wellness kind of a product. अच्छा आपको वो tablets मिलते हैं, पानी में dissolve करो, खाओ, fast and up. Well-being. मतलब fast and up तो मतलब क्या मतलब product है यार? They've sold it. People do not know why they're having fast and up. Seriously, I believe that. मैं खेलने जाता हूँ, हर बंदा ना एक बोतल में वो fast and up की गोली डाल रहा होता है, instead of having regular water. अरे भाई, it's not a supplement to regular water यार. You have to have regular water. Fast and up is not that great also, but it is good for recovery and dehydration. So summers में बढ़िया, but it's a supplementation. It's not a it's not a replacement. It's not a substitute. Absolutely not. It's supplementation, right? And it has to be taken the correct way also. But who cares? Because Fast and Up is selling like hotcakes, right? So they've been able to market it in such a beautiful manner कि you have Fast and Up, आपके body में दर्द नहीं होगी खेल के, जिम करके दर्द नहीं होगी body में. ऐसा कुछ product होना चाहिए जहाँ पे आप ये कहानी बेच पाओ. आगे वो जो है नहीं, let's see. So now we're having a conversation. So let's pick a product now. Let's pick something, and let's pick something simple, right? In the healthcare, firstly, let's identify the problem we want to solve. We've identified we want to solve for middle-aged people, right? Do you guys like this? Nutraceuticals, vitamins, etc. Do we change it or do we stick to this? Let's go with it. Let's go with it. Okay. So, what are we solving with vitamins? Now, our problem क्या solve कर रहे हैं? Am I solving sleep problem? है ना? Magnesium is for sleep. Am I solving deficiency? So, you want to solve deficiencies? What type of a deficiency? What happens because of that deficiency? What happens when I have a B12 deficiency? With a B12 deficiency, my neurotransmitters. I mean, I'm not functioning to my best capability.
Not conscious enough.
Right. But what is the issue with the market? अच्छा कोई मेरे को बताए कि यार आप में B12 की deficiency है ना? आप अपने पूरे potential capability पे function नहीं कर पा रहे. अरे मुझे क्या पता मेरी full capability potential क्या है? मतलब क्या मतलब what is the side effect of that? That's such a random thing to say. The side effect is maybe you're getting tired, you're getting confused, you are getting brain fog, you're getting backaches because of another deficiency, you're getting pimples, you're getting something, right? There has to be some solid, tangible side effect that we're looking for, and we have to solve those problems, right? So let's identify a proper thing we're solving for, and then let's get to the final product. Right, and let's guys, does everyone have their phones, laptops, etc.? So we'll do a little exercise for 5 minutes. We'll do our research also. Manvira, we're going to combine the lean startup with this. ठीक है, we're like a combination of everything. And then हम इसके लिए funding भी उठाएंगे. मनवीर पैसे दिलाएगा. इतनी बड़ी टीम है सारी, सबको 1% मिल जाएगा, है ना? So अब क्या हम problem solve कर रहे हैं? What problem do you think is not being solved in this market? Guys, all of you face problems. You know people who face problems. Your parents face problems. Your brothers, your sisters, मतलब if you have older brothers and sisters, right? But largely our parents and their friends are in this category right now because we're going for middle-aged people. Firstly, what does middle-aged mean? Can you give me a number? 40? 42? 35 ले लेते हैं. 35 to 55. 20 years, right? ये भी बहुत बड़ी मार्केट लग रही है. $35 to $40 के अलग problems हैं.
But basically it starts from 30 in most.
But see, 30 to 40 have different problems. 40 to 55 have completely different problems. Onset is 30 के आसपास. That's how niche you have to be also. For example, I'll tell you now why it's very important to segregate here. किसी के छोटे भाई या बहन है यहाँ पे है कि anyone else? क्या उम्र होगी उनकी? कितने साल छोटे हैं? 5 साल, 6 साल? 2 साल. 2 साल तो बहुत कम है. 6 years. 5 years कुछ समझ आता है वो क्या देखते हैं? है ना? बड़े भाई है, बहन है, वो क्या कहते थे? उनको समझ नहीं आता तुम क्या देखते हो, है ना? Every generation consumption changes. Everyone is consuming differently. That does not mean the generation that's after or before was doing it wrong और हम ही सही हैं. सबको लगता है हम सही हैं. But that means as a startup मेरे को उनको सोचने देना है कि वो सही है. उनको थोड़ा like हाँ यार आप सही हो, बिल्कुल सही हो आप. And as a founder, मैंने उनको market ही उस तरीके में करना है जिसमें उनको लगा वो सही है. So 35 to 55, what's happened is, वो 10 का consumption is completely different for them. They consume different things. They have a different messaging उसके लिए अलग चाहिए, right? For example, Gen Z सब करते हैं. क्यों करते हैं? Because उसको messaging easy है. Gen Z को messaging बहुत easy है. But 35 to 45, the messaging would be similar. 45 के बाद completely different messaging. But there again will be some commonality which comes through function, right? So we have to identify that problem, that functionality in our product. What is the one thing that is common? Do we keep 35 to 55? Can we find that one common problem that is there with everyone? Let's look at their activities. What do people from 35 to 55? Mostly उन लोगों के बच्चे हैं, है ना? कई लोगों के बच्चे हैं, young and old. काम पे जाते हैं, काम करते हैं, है ना? So काम is one common thing. अब काम में क्या problem आती है लोगों को? Energy, stress, anxiety, massive issue.
Politics depression.
Yes. इसका तो मैम आप मेरे को हल दे दो, मैं कुछ भी दे दूँ. Anyway.
Fitness
problem. Exercise नहीं कर पाते, है ना? इसलिए तो ये fat burners वगैरह. Ozempic. Personally, I think Ozempic is not a great thing. My grandmother is diabetic. She has Ozempic because she can't help it. She's diabetic and उनसे generally she can't lose any weight यार because of a medical issue. But people who just are having Ozempic to lose weight, so who am I to comment? Ozempic, great marketing. What placement you've done? You've placed it with the celebrities, right? Whatever the brand is being sold under the sword, and you've convinced the regular person that you may not be able to work out, but you lose weight through this, right? But fitness has to be done physically. In a form of a tablet, like we're thinking nutraceutical tablet, नहीं हो सकता. The only thing that we can do is we can give energy supplementation, which makes me realize that after work, I have the energy to go and work out, or to go and exercise, or before work, I have the energy to work out. So we can do something based on energy. Then we look at the deficiencies which cause low energy. Right? Let's do some research on this, guys. Can we take 5 minutes?
Iron, B12 and iron, B12 also.
There could be B12 deficiency,
Calcium.
right? Huh?
And you want
Exactly.
to identify the disease at the proper time, which is a major issue what I feel.
Disease. Like what type of disease?
कोई भी disease हो वो right time पे identify नहीं हो पाती उस करके.
But I'm like deep thinking कि अब invasive हो जाएगा वो. Invasive कोई वो blood test by invasive I mean जो body के मतलब वो so वो that is a very difficult market to tap into, which is why I'm not even thinking of anything that is invasive like blood tests or scans etc. That's a very
Nowadays there are a lot of tie-ups between the hospitals and the wellness programs. They have tie-ups. If you have some kind of disease, you can reach out to them. They work on the habit building, which is there.
like disease you mean
Any kind of
like cholesterol etc.
You have cholesterol. तो वो habit building पे focus करते हैं. What I have observed.
service-based thing also can be done. Oh, I'm thinking Fatello, etc. So, ma'am, there is a startup that we associate with Fatello. Has anyone heard of Fatello? Shark Tank pe aaye the. They were at our office last week. So they give your wellness, etc. So, karte hain, dete hain. But through diet, they do it, right? We have some startups doing that. We have another startup called Atha Foundation. Mental wellness, mental well-being, habits, etc. Through she uses the art of spirituality also in it. There are multiple things, multiple sciences she's using. तो अगर हम nutraceutical का देख लेते हैं, उसके basis पे like what do you think is the most common? So stress and anxiety, massive issue. But we can't give anxiety medicines, right? We can't give anxiety medicines, but stress also happens because of deficiencies. Anxiety also happens because of deficiencies. Right? For example, what causes anxiety? So anxiety in men is caused by lack of testosterone. So one massive marketing tool for testosterone is not just bodybuilding, right? It's also anxiety. And that's a great, like Kapiva and all have really tapped into this market well. What else can we think about? Can we do some research on this, guys? Just 5 minutes, because अभी हम बस हवा में बात करेंगे अगर हम research वगैरह करेंगे. 35 to 55, some solid problems being faced by people. Let's identify it. Let's put it down on a business canvas, and then let's see how such a startup would be funded. Right? Let's do that.
Grading of hair.
That's a good startup problem. That is a good problem.
They all go to work, so they don't have the time. What if we get a shampoo, like hair color, shampoo, naate laga le.
Stress also causes
Hair fall ke ma'am. Hair fall is a massive thing, but hair color ke I've only seen legit colors wale. ये जो keratin वगैरह डलते हैं उसमें, that's for shine. Hair color I've never seen a product. If it is because Garnier के post color shampoos होते हैं hair color. चलो I may be wrong, which helps you maintain your natural color, because I'm thinking hair color again it has to be hormonal. It's all stress and hormonal. Like बाहर से जो non मतलब आपका वो है मेथड, वो तो सिर्फ आप कलर करके ही कर सकते हो. रूट से तो आपको अंदर से ही कुछ मतलब अलग करना पड़ेगा अगर चेंज करना है कलर. Well, if I think about it, so shampoo etc. I don't think it would. मतलब आपके वो रूट्स मजबूत कर सकते हैं श्योर. गलत कैसे चेंज करेगा? Yeah. Exactly. It is. Nutraceutical is going on. But hormonal diets, but how can you make a medical grade hormonal product also? Guys, let's do some on this. You do some research on your hair color change. Whatever you guys want to pick, identify a problem, talk to me about it, give it to me. Let's finalize a product. 5 minutes, guys. Please, abhi start karte hain.
I had a point. Again, the hair fall thing comes down to deficiency, because a deficiency causes stress and then that further causes hair fall.
So give me data on it. I want data now. I want you to research, look at some problems and look at what causes the stress also. What deficiency? I want you to give me detailed answers. Stress क्या है? क्यों हो रहा है? What's the cause? ठीक है, मेरे को day to day stress है. But deficiency किस चीज़ की है? Tangible क्या है मेरे पास? You guys, have you thought of something?
Yes.
ठीक है, so you can raise your hands and just start talking about what you thought of. Yeah.
स्ट्रेस के बारे में मैंने सोचा था स्ट्रेस का मेन कॉज तो होता है वर्कलोड फाइनेंशियल इश्यूज मैनेज वगैरह इसके सॉल्यूशंस में आते हैं कि कई बार जैसे न्यूट्रिशन जिंक हो गया है या आयरन इन सब की कमी हो जाती है
तो मतलब प्रॉब्लम जिंक एंड आयरन का कमी है पहला तो
और भी मैग्नीशियम वगैरह विटामिन बी
सो क्या होता है जब मैग्नीशियम कम होता है बॉडी में क्या होता है
उनकी वजह से इरिटेटिव फैटिक जैसे वो जो मतलब प्रॉब्लम्स होने लग जाती है सिम्टम्स होने लग जाते हैं जो कि क्रॉनिक एलिमेंट्स को करते हैं इसके लिए हम कोई एक जैसे सप्लीमेंट्स बना सकते हैं पाउडर जिसमें हम लिपिड्स प्रोटीन्स और ये नेसेसरी सप्लीमेंट्स हम दे सकते हैं जैसे फैटी फ्री ओमेगा एसिड्स वगैरह जिससे कि क्या क्योंकि होता क्या है कि कई बार जो होता है वो मतलब
बट फैटी फ्री ओमेगा एसिड्स की कमी के करके मुझे स्ट्रेस भी होएगा
क्योंकि मतलब वो जैसे फैटी फ्री एसिड्स मतलब ये होते हैं जो नर्वस के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब कि मतलब होता है इंपॉर्टेंट होता है और किसी एक से भी अगर
सो नर्वस सिस्टम के लिए
Omega-3 is basically causes brain fog and memory lapses.
ठीक है सो ओमेगा 3 causes brain fog
And brain fog further causes stress and then short-term memory loss as well.
ठीक है so omega 3 is a very common supplement. Why is omega 3 purchased? What is the most common मतलब form of has anyone ever consumed omega 3? आपने जिम करके करा है? किसके लिए आपको फिटनेस कोच ने बताया किसने बोला आपको खाने के लिए?
I carry it because I do gym and stuff, so I need it. Vegetarian diet में मिलता नहीं हमें, तो
Great, that's a great input. Vegetarian diet में मिलता नहीं है.
Fish में होता है, तो I don't consume it, so I have to consume it externally.
Lovely, ठीक है. Great, this is good. This is a good input. कि when you do not have enough of it, you can get it. Stress आपको इसलिए हो रहा है क्योंकि आपकी current diet is not enough for you. अभी omega 3 is very common for gym goers also. क्योंकि वो कहते हैं कि आपको you know आपके muscles growth etc में भी वो help करता है. Fluidity of your body etc.
Good for
This is
hair
great.
quality.
So I think I like this. For vegetarian people,
Yes.
right? This is a good positioning. No, not just for vegetarian. वो बहुत छोटा हो रहा है. For people who do not have enough of it in their diet, right?
I mean,
35 to 55 helps you with stress, brain fog, another, and sleep.
Short-term memory.
Right? We won't focus on the body, the physiologic, only the mental right now. Enough? Okay, so this is the product we have. Now guys, can you make teams of 2? Each and every single person? Right? I want you to fill this up. And I'm going to explain how. It's got nothing for you, sorry. So, 1 per team.
Thank you.
Guys, I want you to go through each and everything over here. Okay? I want you to think about it. And then we'll start working on it together. Okay? So does everyone want to build out their own or do we build a common one?
Common. Let's go with the common one.
Common one?
Yes. Common. That's safe. Base.
चलो ये वापस अपने पास ले जाना फिर एंड अपना खुद का भी कर देना ठीक है जस्ट टू एक्सपेरिमेंट एक बार आई जस्ट वांट यू टू गो थ्रू एवरीथिंग अभी नहीं बनना शुरू करना जस्ट फर्स्ट गो थ्रू एवरीथिंग सी व्हाट इट हैज टू से देन वी स्टार्ट Now guys, before we start the Lean Startup Canvas, there is a Lean Startup methodology like I told you. There is a Lean Startup Canvas. There are two ways to this. Okay? The first is the Lean Startup methodology. Now the Lean Startup methodology was presented in a book called The Lean Startup by a gentleman called Eric Ries. Okay? What he says is they don't waste a lot of time in trying to build the perfect product. What he says is don't build a product which has not been validated. Don't build an end product which has not been validated by the customer. Rather, build something called a minimum viable product. See, now this is relevant largely for IT companies. Because if I had to make omega-3 tablets, etc., how can I build an MVP which is not a complete product? Right? Like if I make 50% उसमें करके it does not make sense. But if you are a software company, for example, if I was the founder of Facebook, building Facebook, I would just go and launch the messaging part of it. And then slowly you see how the customer reacts to it and you see what the customer wants and then you add something. That's exactly what Instagram has done throughout their life. Every single time they keep on iterating, they keep on iterating, they keep on getting customer feedback and they keep on iterating, they keep on adding new features. So as an IT company, the first thing is build in hypotheses, right? You can do it through the lean canvas also. If you are an IT or software company. Now I know not everyone is going to build an IT or software company here because this is not an IT college. This is not a technology based college. So we'll do something different. But I'll still stay with the IT first. Okay? Let's say that you are building a SaaS platform. You are building a CRM. Yeah? You are building a CRM specifically for incubators. Okay? Usme whatever your incubator requirements etc. are. अभी आप सोच रहे हो आपका hypothesis है कि incubators अपने startups को manage नहीं कर पाते, वो ट्रैक नहीं कर पाते कि स्टार्टअप कौन से स्टेज पे है, वो स्टार्टअप नहीं ट्रैक कर पाते कि उन्होंने स्टार्टअप को क्या पहले इनपुट्स दिए थे, राइट? बस वो स्टार्टअप का प्रोग्रेस नहीं ट्रैक कर पाते, राइट? उसके लिए मैं एक सीआरएम बनाऊंगा, बट मुझे पता नहीं अभी इंक्यूबेटर को एग्जैक्ट मैट्रिक्स कैसे चाहिए, क्या चाहिए. सो आई बिल्ड अ मिनिमम वायबल प्रोडक्ट, आई टेक इट टू द इंक्यूबेटर. आई डोंट बिल्ड द फाइनल प्रोडक्ट, मैं जल्दी से एक मिनिमम प्रोडक्ट बनाता हूँ, टेक इट टू द इंक्यूबेटर, राइट? I get them to pilot with it, and they give me their inputs then कि ये सही नहीं है, and I quickly change it and I take it to them again, right? As a software company, you can do that, but like I said, as a proper, you can't do that, right? So that is the lean startup methodology. Build a hypothesis, what the problem is, what solution people are looking for, who the customer audience is, build, feedback, change, build, feedback, change. You can read this book also. Ru cover है किताब का, बहुत बढ़िया बुक है. I read it when I was in college during my entrepreneurship class, and you guys should read it too. ठीक है? What I'm also going to do is I'm going to send an article to Vikram sir. It is HBR Harvard Business Review का article है, right? I think your one article is free on Harvard Business Review, so you can read this one. So if you guys are interested, read this article, you'll get a better idea. But I'm not going to stick to this. What we do is the lean canvas. Now lean canvas is also largely used for IT companies, but you can also use it for D2C brands like the BMC. Okay? So the first thing is simple, guys. What are the problems that you are solving? Like it said, list 1 to 3 problems. अच्छा, handwriting इसकी कमाल की है, मेरी तो बहुत गंदी है. Anyone with good handwriting? So our problems लिखोगे. So guys, let's discuss what are the problems we are solving. The first is no, it is not just stress. It is something deeper than that.
Deficiency.
It is stress due to XYZ. Due to what deficiency? Omega-3. Omega-3. So we decided with one product. We'll do one product, not the entire brand right now. You know? Stress due to omega-3 deficiency. But is it stress due to omega-3 deficiency, or is it the capability to handle stress due to omega-3 deficiency? Is it that your body, for example, let's say if I'm weak, right? अगर कोई मेरे को धक्का मारता है, मैं गिर जाता हूँ. I'm stronger if I'm at my full health. मैं बीमार नहीं हूँ, तो मेरे को धक्का मारेगा, मैं नहीं गिरूँगा, right? Similarly, your body becomes weak if there is no omega-3. It's not कि omega-3 आ गया तो जी stress होना बंद हो जाएगा. Your body will just handle it better. So that is it. The capability to handle stress better through omega, because of omega-3. The lack of omega-3, your body cannot handle stress as well. That is what it is, and that is the problem we are going to list down, right? और ये बात नहीं है कि आप स्ट्रेस लेना बंद कर दो, ये कोई मैजिक पिल थोड़ी है ना? स्ट्रेस तो तब भी लोगे, बॉडी लड़ेगी उसको. So the capability to handle stress better through omega-3, because of the capability to handle stress due to the lack of omega-3 is the problem, right? This is the first problem. What is the second problem? In this only. What is the second problem that is associated with this omega-3? Let's go deeper into it. Let's go really, really deep. What is the core problem? See, then we are building a brand. I'm saying if we just build a canvas for this one product, is this the only problem?
Short-term memory loss.
Someone said brain fog also, right? So what does brain fog and memory loss cause?
Due to lack of sleep.
हमने ओमेगा 3 की बात कर रहे हैं हम। ओमेगा 3 के लैक करके आपको ब्रेन फॉग एंड मेमोरी लॉस होता है। I am somehow not extremely convinced with that, right? I want you to just do a quick research. Go to ChatGPT. What is it about the lack of omega 3 that causes brain fog? Like क्या हो रहा है दिमाग में कि brain fog हो रही है? तो blank statement है कि ये omega 3 नहीं है तो brain fog हो जाएगा, है ना? But what about it? I want the code problem. हम सिर्फ ओमेगा 3 करेंगे, सिर्फ एक प्रोडक्ट, ब्रांड नहीं अभी बना रहे हम सप्लीमेंट्स का, हम ओमेगा 3 का बनाते हैं। We are building a brand of omega 3 because अगर हम सारे वो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने लग गए ना, अभी कंफ्यूजन हो जाएगी। ब्लड फ्लो रिड्यूस हो जाता है। This is the problem, guys. ब्लड फ्लो रिड्यूस होता है। ये नहीं जी स्ट्रेस हो गया जी, नहीं। ओमेगा 3 कम हुआ। ब्लड फ्लो, that's one thing. ब्लड फ्लो डिक्रीज हुआ, due to which brain fog हुआ। ब्लड फ्लो कम है, I think टेस्टोस्टेरोन भी कम होता है अगर आपका ब्लड फ्लो कम है। स्ट्रेस नहीं आप हैंडल कर पाते the same level, right? These are the things we need to look for, right? Lack of blood flow or lower blood flow due to lack of omega 3, which causes brain fog, है ना? Then joint pain. हाँ जी.
Mood swings and depression.
Yes, due to lack of blood flow and stress. It's a combination of things, right? When you're getting brain fog, you're also automatically giving yourself stress. यार हाय, फिर से भूल गया, फिर से brain fog हो गया, क्या करी जा रहा हूँ मैं? But you don't realize that it's not your fault. It's a physiological thing which you need to fix. Maybe 0.1%, 0.2% से ही fix होएगा. And I'm not saying this is the cure. I'm saying this will help to a certain degree only, but it will help. वो confidence आएगा, right? So then joint pain also let's try. Why joint pain? Because it gives you that inflammation. Lovely. Inflammation के साथ lack of omega 3 causes inflammation. Right.
Bad quality of.
Now what I want to know is, guys are thinking of a crazy thing right now. There are 3 problems and there are 3 products in my eyes. And I think each of this has different components also. So one product for inflammation, one product or one combined product for stress and brain fog. Inflammation may we add some other things also along with omega 3. And just based off omega 3, we have a product line. Just based off this problem. Right? And our problem is defined. And that is what makes us unique. Because there is now this, I'll get to, before I get to the solution, I want to get to the unique value proposition. This market is a highly competitive market. इनके पास ओमेगा 3 की डब्बी है, कौन से ब्रांड की? टाटा की। टाटा से compete करने में मतलब क्या करोगे आप? कैसे करोगे? आप एक ओवरऑल प्रोडक्ट तो बना नहीं सकते, एक नीश ही बना सकते हो। सो वो नीश क्या है? एक कहानी है। जैसे इसने एक बात बोली कि रिंग डालते हो तो स्ट्रैप से बेटर आपको एनालिटिक्स आते हैं, है ना? प्रूवन है। तो अगर आप मेरा ओमेगा 3 लेते हो इन्फ्लेमेशन वाला, आपको उस ओमेगा 3 से बेटर ट्रीटमेंट मिलेगा, क्योंकि मेरा ओमेगा 3 बना ही सिर्फ इन्फ्लेमेशन के लिए है, वो बना ही नहीं और किसी चीज के। मैंने डाले ऐसे कंपोनेंट्स हैं, उसका जो mg वगैरह सब कुछ वो इन्फ्लेमेशन के लिए है, राइट? एंड वो उन लोगों के लिए जो काम पे जाते हैं, वो ऑन द गो 35 to 55, आप मीटिंग्स के लिए जाते हो, फैक्ट्री जब जाते हो, कॉलेज जब जाते हो, है ना? Ma'am, as a teacher, you have to walk a lot over here on campus. Joint pains are a part of it. Inflammation is a part of it. So you need an omega-3 that is just made for inflammation. And you can add other things. So I want you to now go to ChatGPT and look at the science of it. Can I add other components which, along with omega-3, for inflammation, right? But our primary product is omega-3. उसके साथ हम अलग चीजें डाल रहे हैं. It's the power of omega-3. It's not like Tata which has omega-3 also. ये भी है, वो भी है, ये भी है, वो भी है, ये भी है. It's one. उसके variations. Because that makes you different in the market. That's your unique value proposition. That is something different that you are doing. Right? So guys, what would be a UVP over here? So, I'll do it one second. जो आपका high level concept है, list your X for Y analogy. YouTube is equal to Flickr for videos. So that's a very bad way of actually doing it. But X for Y, right? Specialization, huh?
PCM for fever.
वो तो PCM for fever हो गया. To my point, this would be like specialization in omega-3 or अच्छा फ्लिकर में होता क्या था एग्जैक्टली किसी को पता है? किसी को याद है? शॉर्ट वीडियोस होते थे, लॉन्ग वीडियोस होते थे. This is before YouTube also. चलो anyway. So single clear compelling message that states why you are different and worth paying attention. Right? What would you do, guys? Why are we worth paying attention to? वो तो सब करते हैं, सभी करते हैं. इसका रिंग भी करता है, मेरा वॉच भी करता है. बट मेरा वॉच स्पेशलाइजेशन, ब्यूटीफुल आंसर. इसका वॉच खेलने के लिए नहीं है, मेरा वॉच खेलने के लिए है ना. मैं कहीं पे भी डाल सकता हूँ, स्ट्रैप डालता हूँ. आई डोंट वांट समथिंग यहाँ पे. दैट इज द डिफरेंस. अरे भाई मैं समझा रहा हूँ. Then that specialization, that's personalization. So first you sell the beauty of omega-3, right? Then you talk about the specialization of omega-3. We are going towards pure niches. आप टाटा को omega-3 नहीं खरीदोगे हमसे. आप omega-3 अपने specialized problem के लिए खरीदोगे. With our overall brand. हाँ जी.
सर एक क्वेश्चन है कि कैसे आपने जैसे ओमेगा-3 बनाया टाटा का, अब इसमें आपका जो ओमेगा-3 है वो कैसे उस टाटा के ओमेगा-3 से बेटर है? क्या वो टेस्ट में अलग है, क्या वो कंपोजिशन में अलग है?
नहीं. Like I said, मेरे और इसमें कोई फर्क नहीं है इसके ब्रांड होने में. जनरली कोई फर्क नहीं है. बस पर्सनलाइजेशन की फर्क है, एक कहानी की फर्क है. पहली बात तो ये है. दूसरी बात, I said कि आप अदर कंपोनेंट्स भी देखो, आप उस ओमेगा-3 के साथ क्या ऐड कर सकते हो फॉर इन्फ्लेमेशन. Over there we get other components. Main चीज तो वही है, omega-3. मैं कहानी अलग बना रहा हूँ उसके साथ.
Basically
The size problem. Algal oil. So it's an oil infused basically thing which
because the thing that you said about fish get their thing from algal.
And I tell you why only omega-3 makes sense. SEOs. When I'm searching, when someone is going and doing research on product, etc., आपको बड़ी direct targeted marketing होती है यार, बहुत targeted होती है. Overall brand में ना you get lost in the crowd. So this is a way to not get lost in the crowd. By the way, this is a highly risky move. You can highly risky move. But if you can give a unique value proposition that is actually makes a lot of sense and you are able to convey that story to people, then it's good. But again, you need to show numbers also. So guys, I think time is also running low a bit. So what we're going to do is I want you all to fill it up. Okay? I'm going to share an article with you. इस brand पे ही हमने भरना है. I want you to ideate, think about it, take a do, fill it up tomorrow, take a day or two. Fill it up, send it to Vikram sir. Okay? But Manveer, how would we fund this? Why would we fund this? अभी नहीं भरेंगे कैनवस. Think about it and fill. ठीक है?
Basically get funded with this. For example, if you have these kind of medicines, so once you have made that, first of all, you go to people, you go to clinics, you go to relevant people, you go to hospitals and ask them to test it. Maybe ask your friends, ask your families if they have similar kind of problem. Tell them, take this for a month. You have been taking that for a while, now take this. And now we have done so much of research, we think we are the best. So they will tell you that this works.
But as an investor, when will I put money in this D2C brand?
When will
I put money, why would I put money in this D2C brand as an incubator, as an investor?
As an investor or as an incubator?
I want both.
As an incubator, it's easier to get grants. Maybe some relevant incubators who have very specific thesis like PUBG, ICER, people like those, they have specific grants for these. Raftar is specifically 20 lakh. 20 lakh Raftar grant is specifically for this bio thing. So you go to those people. So then you will get those kind of grants. But as an investor, it is very difficult to raise funds until unless you are doing at least an ARR of 3 crores or you have some crazy numbers, you have some brand, people know about you. Until unless you are doing 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs a year, investors won't put in. Because when they put in money, when you are doing at least 3 crores of ARR, you can scale it to 10, 15. You will raise rounds, you'll make money in 2 years. That's what he's looking at. But biotechnology incubators, when Raftar puts in money, they think that some kind of research is going on. People have developed something new out of this area. So then to get those 20 lakhs, to get grants from us, to get grants from Startup Punjab, to get specified grants for biotechnology, it's easier. You might raise 25, 30 lakhs. But as an investor, it is very difficult until unless you are doing 3 to 5 crores. You are very unbeatable in this market. People are preferring you over existing brands. You need to show them that how we are better. And how we are better is not just on papers. We have a lot of startups coming in with a lot of research that this is the best millet cookie, this is best. But they are doing 7 lakhs a year. Anyone can do that. I'm not saying 7 lakhs a year is not good, but it's not a thing which I will look at. And I'm putting 10, 15 crores. And just so you are clear, no one, as in, even if you're raising a fund from VC, minimum investment is 1 lakh. Oh, sorry, 1 crore. And उससे कम जा सकती है 25 lakhs.
So अब इन्होंने शुरू करा है. इनके लिए basically इनको pre-seed चाहिए. Bootstrap आपने कर लिया है, right? इन्होंने bootstrap करा. पहली चीज sales दिखाना है आपको, right? अब ये सिर्फ एक hypothesis है. Hypothesis prove करना है आपको, market में जाके बेचना है. तभी आप incubator के साथ आप अपनी product dev कर सकते हो.
Exactly.
Right? Product development आप करो incubator के साथ. But अगर आप आपको उससे भी grant उठानी है ना, you have to test it out in the market. So you have to try to sell this product. Okay? And आप incubator का how much revenue you have achieved, the incubator must see that they are putting it in something that will be able to scale. Right? So that is the first thing you have to prove to the incubator. Now we follow the agile method over here. Let's say this hypothesis does not work out. We change. Maybe we make an umbrella brand only, like, and we compete with Tata, but on a different story. Right? But you have to show revenue to the incubator. Many people think, what do you guys think of this idea? Is this a good idea, decent idea? ठीक है? Okay. What do you think? Decent idea? Anyone else? What do you guys think about the idea? Decent? Good enough? But it won't get you money if you go to an incubator. 100% आपको पैसा नहीं मिलेगा इसके लिए. क्योंकि आपका क्या है, आपने हाइपोथेसिस निकाल लेंगे तो हाइपोथेसिस के लिए कौन दे रहा है पैसा? कोई भी नहीं दे रहा. बट अगर आप एक कहानी बेच सकते हो, बस किसी को स्टैनली का पता है? मतलब बॉटल पता है? क्या बेचते हैं वो? प्रोडक्ट बेचते हैं, कहानी बेचते हैं. बट कहानी सिर्फ मार्केट में ही हैज टू मीट द मार्केट. So this is what I am good at personally. I am good at selling stories. So I can always give a perspective on that. My colleague Dhaval, he is more good at this IT and software kind of stuff. But I am good at stories. So I can give that perspective. That every story has a potential in the market. But you have to find the person you want to sell the story. Right? And ऐसे brands को नहीं मिलते पैसे. You have to first get revenue, then you go to an incubator. Manveer, who are some other people we can go to if they have an idea?
Early
money. Angels, etc. only.
Yes, angels, but again you need to have a good network and not an HNI. So there's difference between HNI and angels. So someone giving you 10 lakhs is not a thing. So even if you want to reach to good angels, because A, they will take good amount of money because you don't have much traction, so they will take equity. So you need to be sure which angel. So angels just does not give you money. Angels के पास VCs का connect होता है. They have a lot with them, market expertise, connects with various venture capitalists, and they may link to you some partnerships. You might get access to some deals, some meetings. So again, for that I feel if you are proper raising from angel, that is also I feel at a later stage. But at like when it's just hooking up, we should just look forward to grants. And once we have built that kind of traction, we put in our own money. We don't take out the profits, we just put in, because D2C brands can be built without taking external money. Well, if I'm just talking about a D2C thing, well, Zerodha was built without taking any external money. I mean, that's to such a billion-dollar company. So just to add perspective to that, it's great if you get VC money. Of course, you can scale faster. If it takes 7 or 8 years to build, it might take 3.5 or 4 years to build.
I have a question. When Zerodha came into the market, was anyone doing something like that? 100 people, hundreds of people, thousands of people were doing the same thing. But Zerodha was still successful.
Yeah.
Why? Interface, story, ease. Multiple factors come into it. Basically, identification of the customer and what the customer wants. The kind of software they want to use. What do they want to scroll through? What gratification? What is that application called Green Piper? That American. अच्छा चलो जीपे का एग्जांपल लेते हैं. जीपे में जब पेमेंट कंप्लीट करते हो सेलिब्रेट करते हैं जीपे आपके साथ. अरे भाई क्यों सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हो? मैं रो रहा हूँ यहाँ बैठ के. मेरे पैसे गए हैं. इसको मेरे को ग्रेटिफिकेशन दे रहे हैं ना. It's okay, आपको रिवॉर्डिंग कर रहे हैं. It's rewarding you. That is what these applications do, and that is what is great about them. Reward. So they also rewarded you in different ways. So think about these things. Fill up this for any of your startup ideas. Fill up this canvas. Schedule a call with Innovation Mission Punjab if you have a startup idea. Let's see what we can do about it. Right? The idea today was to talk to you about how you can ideate. Right? How you have to keep on identifying what the customer wants, what segment you're in, right? And keep on changing according to customer needs. So this entire thing is to identify what is special about you and what your customer wants, right? आगे your revenue source etc. वो हम करेंगे. और अगर customer वो product market fit नहीं है, PMF नहीं है ना, कुछ नहीं होने वाला. So PMF नहीं है, ठीक है? And आगे you guys now know how to raise money, or without this, there is no point of the money. Yeah? So let's stick to this first. Let's build a great idea. Let's build a good business model. Let's have a good product market fit, a minimum viable product. Let's test our products in the market, and then see how we can go about it. If you don't have a startup idea yet, I think it's time you start thinking. How do you think about a startup idea? I mean, there is no, I don't know, बस देखते रहो आसपास प्रॉब्लम्स ढूंढते रहो कुछ ना कुछ करो. I wish I knew how to think of a great startup idea. But the startup ideas everywhere. I mean, and ये बहुत ज़्यादा हम भी ये करते हैं innovation mission या कुछ हम बंदे से पहली चीज़ पूछते चाहते. Competitive market तो बहुत है. अरे हाँ जी, competitive market तो है ही है. तब भी इस competitive market में हम कुछ अलग कर सकते हैं, which is why my product will be better. Or maybe I'm one step ahead. If you're entering a red ocean, I mean, eat the great white shark then. Come in as something bigger. That's the way. Challenge the sharks. You have to have the strength to challenge the sharks. This business model gives you that strength. So think about it, guys, and thank you so much. I hope you guys, did you enjoy the session?
Yes.
Did it open your mind on how to think about these startups, how to ideate for early stage startups, etc. Right. One or two learnings that we may have had today. Anyone?
Build your own story of your product.
And what is the fundamental base of building a story?
क्या कौन कौन सी चीजें मतलब एड्स कर रहे हो वगैरह मतलब
Ads,
यूनियन है मतलब यूएसपी
basic, basis क्या है सब चीजों का? Product is basis पे है.
मार्केट में प्रॉब्लम्स क्या है?
Problem क्या है? But उसमें uniqueness भी कैसे है? How well do you know your customer? अपने product, अपने customer को आप कितनी अच्छे तरीके से जानते हैं? Know your customer and enough. Know them. And identify the core problem. The core problem is not just stress. It is because of lack of omega, D3. There is lack of blood flow. That is the problem. Not stress. That's for the mota mota. Go deeper and identify it. This is great. So, gel pen, please. Go on.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful and thought-provoking session on both the topics. Your guidance has truly given us a new perspective on how ideas can be nurtured into sustainable ventures. We are grateful for the time and knowledge you have shared with us today. Let's all give a huge round of applause for Mr. Adhiraj Ahluwalia. And Lee sir also.